to Law and Order SVU here on FANVERSATION. I am Yael Tygiel. That is Taylor Gates. Hello, Taylor.
Hello.
Hello. It is back to school month here at S Review. We are talking season 6, episode 5, Outcry. Before we jump into this episode, if you need the hotline for RAINN, their number is 1-800-656-4673, 1-800-656-4673. If you find yourself in a situation, please reach out to RAINN. Taylor, what does that spell?
I was going to say, you skipped a part. It spells hope, everyone.
I didn't skip it. I came back
Got
to
ahead
it.
of yourself.
I just wanted to make sure that people understood what the hotline was for.
I'm not going to let you live, so...
That's fair. Also, welcome for people who are watching us live. Hello. If this is your first time joining us, that's a choice. But also, please consider this your content warning here on the S Review podcast. We say things out of pocket, as the kids say.
Yeah, you used that correctly. Good job.
Thank you. And so consider this your content warning. I'm going to say some shit. We swear on this podcast.
We don't fucking swear.
I fucking swear. I cuss like a sailor.
Same.
Which is fitting since there are Army cadets in this episode.
Wow, good transition, good segue.
Thank you. Here is here's a quick cap for season 6, episode 5, Outcry, also known as the Amanda Seyfried.
I always say it the wrong way, so I always say Seyfried, and it's not that. So whatever it's.
Okay.
Seyfried.
This is the Amanda Seyfried episode.
Yeah.
Here's the quick cap. A missing teenager found beaten and tied up in a college dormitory under construction claims that she was raped. Yeah.
Pretty much.
So for those who don't know, the quick cap is literally just the summary that I steal from IMDb. Today's quick cap was like a whole paragraph, and I went, that's not a quick cap. So I took the first sentence and stopped in the middle.
I mean, that does sum it up. Of course, it takes from there, but that is the setup, which what a quick cap usually does.
Yeah, exactly. Hello, Alexa in the chat and Sarah in the chat as well. We love having you here. I'm so glad you could make it. Let's start with this episode. For those who don't know, I decided that we should do a back to school month of episodes, and I specifically wanted to do Hudson episodes. And I love that this episode is a Hudson episode, but not about a Hudson student. Mm-hmm. It is in fact about a 16-year-old who is found in the construction site, bless you, of Hudson's new dorms, which happens to be across the street from where the Army cadets live in their dorms. My question, I guess, is, and I'm asking anyone who went to, I'm going to go with a regular university, is that a thing with Army cadets on school campus in uniform but going to school? I'm confused.
It wasn't at mine, but I went to a smaller liberal arts. It could be at a state school type of deal, a bigger college. I could see that.
I don't get it. I don't understand the idea of isn't the military, don't they have their own training shit? And then there are military schools.
Yeah, but there are things, I guess maybe just in high school, but ROTC, but that's not true because I had friends.
But also, what is that?
ROTC is when you're in high school and you sort of train. So I have a couple of friends who went to school through the military to get their things paid for and things. Sure. And they're doctors and things. So they were in the military, but it was a slightly different thing. They still went to the same school, but they had special programs and classes and things that they had to do for that, but I don't think they ever lived in a dorm that was like separate and special. So there are definitely programs like this, but it's like giving fraternity sorority to me. Like it's so strange. So that part maybe is made up or like special for Hudson, but the fact of people being in the military on a campus like this totally checks out.
So like I do understand that people like will go to the military and that will help like get them school funding or whatever. Like I do know that that's a thing. My question more so is this like I guess part military part school situation. I just don't I have no judgment. I don't know. I've not heard of these things and I want people to explain it to me.
Yeah, I think it exists. I think the only thing that's tripping me out is the shared dorm situation because I don't think that's usually how it is, but I think the other parts make sense to me.
Sure. What about them wearing like if they had to wear uniform to school?
Yeah, I could see that. Like I could see that. Every day feels a little bit overkill, but maybe on certain occasions. I don't know. It did super trip me up though. I was like, yeah, that makes sense.
I just, having seen this episode many times, I'm like trying to pay attention to new things. And I was like, I've never thought about the fact that the Army cadets have their own dorms and go to this school. Sarah in the chat, who is, I think, closer to where you and I are. I never saw that, but I was at a performance conservatory. Yeah. So, yeah, I wasn't at a normal school either. Even though I went to a state school, it just wasn't like, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, I could see it like at really large schools.
Right.
Different facets and programs and all of that.
I really hope somebody listening or watching went to a, like, I'm going to just keep saying normal university who can explain this to us.
Yeah.
Or maybe we all went to normal universities and this is weird.
Very well could be.
Right, because it's Hudson. And as Sarah points out, never go to Hudson.
No, absolutely not.
Ever. All right, so we find Amanda Seyfried. Fuck.
Just call her Amanda S. Us.
Mean Girl. We find the Mean Girl. I'm gonna call her Megan's Body.
True. Good stuff. Wow. Just like thinking about her career is crazy.
Chloe. Oh man.
I mean, the Dropout. Elizabeth Holmes. Like so good.
Yes.
So good. She's amazing. And she was amazing in this too. She's been amazing.
Yes, she's so talented. So I have the way my notes are is here's her first story and then her second story and then the third story. I remember watching this episode and being like, it was the dad. Like from the get, I was like, it was the stepdad.
Yeah, because he's so sketchy. But like, I'm glad that it wasn't because that would have been the most predictable thing ever. But I was like, this guy's sketchy as a fuck. Like he's so. And even the mom, I'm like, I don't know about you. Like, I don't know about you actually.
So when the boss was like, next you're gonna accuse her mother, you were like, yeah, maybe.
I was like, yeah, honestly, she seems a little suspect.
I do like, just to talk about the stepdad, like I do like that when Stabler accused him, he punched him so hard. Because that, like in that moment, I was like, oh, it wasn't him. Which is why when it's the boss is like, I saw her like a daughter, like this is disgusting. And he like just sat there. I was like, yeah. See the difference? See the difference?
Yeah.
Ugh. Let's talk about Elliot and his reporter friend. Because I feel like
okay.
Here's why. I feel like every once in a while the show will be like, let me talk to my reporter friend. And it's always someone new.
Yeah. Where'd you meet this guy?
Well, Stabler says that they went to high school together.
Okay.
But I do appreciate that the reporter points out that Stabler and Benson being on this case tells the world that she was a rape victim.
Yeah, exactly.
Why are our cops so stupid?
To be fair, she is a minor, so that could also child abuse. But yes, I agree that it adds a lot of suspicion to that aspect of things.
I mean, to be fair, she was a missing child.
Yeah.
So that is also a
minor. So it's like, okay, they could just be there to figure out what happened to this kid. But also, come on.
When the reporter says to him when they were having the drinks and he says, like, so you're confirming she's a victim. Stabler should be like, she was missing.
Right.
So yes.
We all know she was a victim.
Right.
What?
Yeah, she's been on the news for days. So
yeah.
Alexa in the chat says repeat offender Michael O'Keefe always plays a good sketchy character. That is correct. Her father was Michael O'Keefe. And he is definitely a repeat offender. Let me get that list for us. One moment, please. You got some elevator music for us?
Some what?
Elevator music.
Sure. Okay. I think it was like Mario Kart music, but
it was beautiful.
Better actually. Thanks.
It was perfect. It was exactly what I needed. He has been, in fact, in 4 episodes. In season 3, episode 14, Counterfeit. In season 6, this episode, Outcry, and twice in season 17. In a 2-part episode, he was Father Eugene O'Hannigan in the really obnoxious, creepy, priesty thing. And Alexa reminds us that is Tucker's cousin. Yes, thank you.
Yeah, I blocked that
out. Because those episodes were stupid.
Yes.
Not only were those episodes stupid, but if you would like those stories, please go check out. I haven't even seen it yet, but I'm sure it's better. The documentary about the Keepers, I think it was called, which is the story that's based on. Anyway, speaking of repeat offenders, I'm just gonna jump all the way to the end. The girl at the end, who is the victim, who comes forward and is like, it was Mike Tucker. First of all, this time I noticed she was sitting behind Stabler in the courthouse the whole time. And I was like, oh, she's been sitting there. Good for her. Yeah. She was previously, this actress is named, oh, I lost it. Emma Bell, I want to say is the right name. Yep, Emma Bell. Ooh, I'm killing it. She repeats again in season 15, episode 22, Reasonable Doubt. So this was her first. Amazing. All right, so here are the stories that Tandy, which is such a good name, tells.
Is it? She just does not scream Tandy to me.
Oh, it doesn't fit her. I just like that name.
Oh.
Tandy's a great name.
Yeah, but it's not her name, you know?
No.
I just don't. Like, that's an Emily if I've ever seen one, you know? Hannah. That's a Shannon. That's not a Tandy.
A Bethany, I could see.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, there's all these names. I'm like, yep, Tandy isn't on the list at all. That's a Sarah, okay? As I think of them, I'm just gonna scream them out for you. That's a Tracy.
I'm not disagreeing. Okay. So her first story is that she was walking home from the library to the bus stop. She was invited to a party by uniformed guys. And that was where they were like forcing her to go to a party. The second story is that they took her to get food and watched her from outside. The third story is that she made the whole thing up. And then the fourth story is that it was the boss. And he threatened to fire her dad.
Which, like, honestly, a good threat to make towards a 16-year-old, I would say. Like, that's effective. Especially
is.
because of his bad heart.
Right. I think, while I agree, I think it also feels like a weak, it's weak. Like, the threat, I think, like, I don't know, like, I'm gonna fire him and make his life so stressful that his heart gives out and he won't have insurance. Like, you know what I mean? Like, heighten
Yeah.
it more so than just I'm gonna fire him and then he won't have insurance and then he's fucked.
Well, I also think it's like if you tell him this, he's gonna be so upset that it's gonna mess with his heart too. I think there's that layer to it too.
Sure.
I think it was like a good threat all around because I don't know, that's so much added stress to that guy's life.
I just feel like usually the threats are like, I'm gonna kill your family. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, I
Yeah.
know where you live, I'm gonna kill your
It's
family.
like she did say they said that too, to be fair.
Right.
So, but I don't know. I think it was like it's weirdly sweet that she was like trying to protect him, you know?
It's
And
very
the way
sweet.
it comes out is really good.
Mhm.
It's like, I'm scared for him. I was like, what? He's and then I don't know if I even wrote this line down, but Olivia's like, he's not gonna die. He's just gonna go to jail.
Right. I love that. I loved that moment. It was so good.
He's not gonna die. He's just gonna go to prison. That was so funny.
I love our bodega guy, Fred. I love that he did see her. He remembered the food and nothing else.
Yeah.
He didn't remember her name, what she looked like.
And for the people who were examining all of the food and stuff, they're like, wow, you got that from a few crumbs? And she's like, I literally got that from the label, you stupid bitches. So good.
Let's talk about the video from the party and the alleged sex acts of a minor. She was dancing, right?
Yeah, she was strictly dancing.
There are videos of me and my friends dancing from high school.
Yeah. Go on TikTok.
Oh, right. Right.
This was clearly before that because of that and because of the press stuff and all of that. But I was like, she's just having a good time, frankly. Like, okay.
I do appreciate that once we find out who shot the video from the mirror. I loved that. That's such a fun moment. And then that the video cuts out right after, like, she sneaks away alone, totally like shift suspicion to this guy. I also appreciate that he was like, I wanted to sell it.
Yeah. Like an entrepreneur, if I've ever seen one.
Yeah, and then they do that he's not going to come forward because they'd get in trouble. Like, his whole thing, this low life, makes sense.
Yeah, agreed.
What do you think about the handprint on the sheetrock?
I don't even, honestly, there were so many details. I'm like trying to even think about what the part that was.
So they found, like, they were looking for fingerprints where she was found, and they find a full handprint on the sheetrock. And I appreciate, and it belongs to the stepdad. And he's like, we built this.
Okay, yeah. You can't be like, it's a building that people have been working in. Like, there's gonna be fingerprints, handprints everywhere.
It's like worse than a hotel.
Right. That's such a strange thing. It's like, oh, no fingerprints on the. Of course it is. He was there. He's admitted to that. Like,
they built it.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's such bad evidence.
I will say one of my favorite moments in this episode, aside from like Amanda, Tandy, Tracy, Patty, Betty, aside from all of her performances, I think that the thing that is so great is after Craig and Meg forces Stabler to arrest her, is that Benson is like, is everybody stupid? Because she's clearly a victim.
Yeah, the arrest reminded me a little bit of Dreams Deferred, which we talked about. And it's like they're arresting her for a different purpose, like to force her to kind of actually say what happened, because we know that she didn't just make it up. At least Olivia does. Like, she knows. So it's like, okay, well, this is the only way we're going to get her to talk is to force her in here, which is like a shitty thing, but effective at times, I guess.
I think I agree. I think Olivia being the only one that was like, clearly something happened was fine. Whatever. Look, it's season 6. I can understand. It's better. It's early still. And the men folk being mad is I get it.
Yeah.
Men folk be like that. So
she lied to us. Shut up. Resources. Okay.
But also, this is the second time in the episode where Olivia kind of forces decisions. Earlier is the social services law forcing her to go to the hospital, which honestly, like, I'm not mad about that one. But Stabler's
the dad is reacting or something.
Yeah.
Whatever. Come on. How are you? Yes, of course you're gonna make her go there. Well, he's talking like that.
I think, like, the fact that they didn't have an opportunity to, like, talk to her and be like, this is why you should go to the hospital. I understand why Olivia made that choice. And then later when she's like, get him out of the room, I need to talk to her again, make another choice for her. But then when they're with Casey, right? It's Casey. Then when they're with Casey and they're like, what do we do? And she's like, I can't make that choice for you.
Yeah.
I want to be like, but you've been making all the choices for her. So. Yeah.
Well, it worked.
Olivia knows how to manipulate, apparently.
Well, and she doesn't regret it. Okay? She doesn't regret it.
No. So let's talk about this creepy ass boss.
Sure.
What the fuck?
Yeah, he was giving me vibes the whole time, honestly.
Great casting choice, because this man is a creeper. So sorry to the actor. Hold on. Where did I want to give him a shout out? Mike Tucker. Why is he not credited? What's happening? There he is. John Bedford Lloyd is the actor. And he 100% deserves credit for playing a creeper.
Yep.
The creepiest of creeps. For those who don't know, this episode was directed by Konstantin Makris, I'm guessing on that pronunciation, and written by Patrick Harbinson.
Yeah, it's no Speedweed episode.
It is no Speedweed, that's clear. But it's still a fun episode.
Yeah.
I also think what's really interesting is at the end, when we finally get the story of what actually happened, and she says that after Ranger gave her $20 for a taxi, but instead she hid for 2 days. And genuinely, my thought was, man, taxis were so cheap back then.
Yeah. I'll tell you that right now.
$20 is going to cover her taxi. Either she lives very close or taxis were very cheap. And I think that they were very cheap in 2004.
Agreed.
Any other thoughts on the episode, or should we get to your favorite part of the discussion?
I do want to talk about how fake the blood looked when the army cadet was ran over in the street. I just didn't believe it. The blood looked so fake.
So totally agree. Also, for a moment, I thought he was dead, and then he blinked, and I was like, what the fuck? And then I listened and heard that he was alive.
Yeah.
I like rewound because I was like,
did we ever find out he's alive?
He's in a coma.
Okay. But we didn't
see he
woke up from that.
No, it said at some point that he's in a coma. So I think he stays in a coma through the episode.
Okay, well, the next season he wakes up finally. That'd be crazy. We need to do something like that.
How would it help anything?
I don't know. It could just be interesting.
Season 25. Remember that guy from season 6? He woke up from his coma.
Oh no, it could be fine.
I'll allow it. All right.
You miss so much stuff. Can you imagine trying to adjust to life like that?
You know what? I want it. I want it now.
You bring Candy back too. Like, maybe it's romance. I don't know.
All right. I'll allow that as well.
Thank you. If you guys run out of ideas, go ahead and feel free to use that. But let me write. Freelance the episode to me.
Okay. Moving on. Taylor, I'm sure you're ready with some best lines.
There's not that many because this wasn't a super funny episode, but
best lines don't have to be funny.
Yes, they do for me. Give me your tired, your poor, your homicidal taxi drivers. It's really good. I feel like that is really what the Statue of Liberty stands for. We've got no security cameras, plus he's a weirdo. I just really like that both of those things have equal weight. You get the tape, Miss Novak, not the auteur. I just like how they use that because they always hear that word now, like directors. I'm kind of shy around pretty women, all right? Who isn't? Like, who amongst us isn't? Those were the only 4 I had, but
first of all, 100% accurate.
Like, okay, so was everyone else. Like,
I do appreciate that it's pointed out that she was a 16-year-old girl, but
yeah.
But also Amanda Seyfried, like,
right?
Yeah.
Hello. How old was she when this was filmed?
I don't know. Great question.
Like, was she 18? Like,
I assume she was 18.
I'm assuming she was 18 too,
if not older. All right, so those are the best lines. I'm ready for what I learned, but we'll get to that in a minute. What did I want to do at this point? Shower thoughts.
Yeah.
So, for our friends who listen in the shower, hello. Taylor, do you have any shower thoughts for them?
I hope that after you take your shower, you continue your day of self-care by perhaps getting a bacon, egg, and cheese from a bodega. I hope the guy's not creepy and a weirdo. I hope it's delicious.
Ooh.
And I hope the shower is either warming you if you're a little chilly or cooling you off if you are sweaty and it's hot where you live.
Yeah. Damn. Yeah. What a good shower thought. I'm also just going to add that because you mentioned like a day of self-care. And my thought was, are you a morning or an evening showerer?
Do you want me to answer that?
Yeah.
Night shower.
I'm also a night shower. I can't do a morning shower.
I don't get morning showers. What about that is fun? You have to blow dry your hair. I don't do anything with my hair except brush it after I shower.
I will say, since I bring him up on the podcast all the time, Tari's a morning shower, and he says that it wakes him up. It like refreshes him.
It gives me a little bit. I don't need to go sleepy after I take a shower. It's warm. It's comforting.
Yeah, my thought is if I have the time to shower in the morning, I could just sleep.
Period. Yes, exactly. Like, I'm not a morning person. Like, my showers are late at night too. Yael knows that. We've slept in hotel rooms together. I shower at like 1 a.m. usually, actually.
I'm also a very, very late night shower and have definitely done a 2 a.m. shower.
Yeah.
Before bed.
Yeah.
And those are our shower thoughts today.
But it's before I go to sleep.
Yeah. All right. So Taylor, are you ready for what did we learn? Because I'm fucking ready.
Go, because I don't really have one.
Okay, so I learned that the nose on the Statue of Liberty is 4.5 feet.
Yes, okay, I did learn that too, actually. Schnoz is the word they actually use.
They use schnoz, but I wanted to clarify for people.
Yeah, I just like schnoz. I guess I learned about like the social whatever law that you mentioned.
It's not a real law, the social services law.
Oh.
She lied. That's not a thing.
Oh, it felt real to me.
That was the whole point of that part, was she made it up to force her to get the rape kit done.
True.
It should be.
Because if she's underage.
Right, but we've seen it previously where like the parent has to consent to it, and they've had to fight that because like the parent doesn't want the kid re-traumatized or whatever.
That's so stupid, because what if the parent's guilty?
Right. The problem is though that like it's a very invasive, a rape kit is very invasive, and so
well, okay,
to force that a child.
Yeah, that makes sense, but that gets into such gray territory.
I totally agree, and I feel like there should be something, perhaps like a rape kit cannot be forced, but like her clothing, you know, she has to like must give over her clothing and be put into like sweats or something, so that they can at least get some evidence.
Yeah.
Although, I mean, I'm saying this, but like, I know that I'm walking a slippery slope of forcing people to do things and
yeah,
crossing
it's so hard when they're young, because it's like, because so much unfortunately is like perpetrated by people that they know and are making those decisions.
I think what's in this episode specifically, right? Like the ambulance is there and her stepdad wants to take her home. And I think that like forcing medical attention because she has been missing for days makes sense, to like make sure that, you know, she isn't injured, not necessarily forcing the rape kit. And then when she's like calmed down a bit, then talking her into it. I think like there's a middle ground that's missing.
I guess I thought that the fake law that I guess I didn't read as fake was more about like medical attention in general. You know what I mean? I wasn't like, oh, she was like, we're going to the hospital. Like,
right.
We are making sure she's fine and like going to talk to her, not just like letting her leave.
I think what's also interesting is that she's put into the ambulance and no one goes, like her father doesn't go with her. Benson doesn't go with, like no one goes with the screaming, terrified girl.
It's messed up.
But yeah.
And I learned that like the Army cadet, are they on campus or not? It was up in the air, but that was real.
I think we learned that we didn't go to schools that had things like this. True. So we don't know.
True.
That's what we learned this episode. I mean, we don't really have a lot of news or announcements or anything this week, but we did make some decisions on our back to school month of episodes. So here they are. Today we did Outcry. Next week we will be doing Class. Do you remember that episode? Season 7, episode 17?
Not particularly well.
Great. I cannot wait to discuss it next week. And then we will be doing Impulsive.
This one I remember.
Yeah, this is season 9, episode 3. This is the Melissa Joan Hart episode where she's the teacher. I cannot wait till we get that. I like put it at the end as like a gift.
Yeah.
I also have, I already chose the next back to school episode we will be doing after that, because it'll be early September, so school had just started. Also not a Hudson episode. Impulsive isn't a Hudson episode either. But I thought, back to school. And apparently I'm not allowed to do incest September, so
you're not. That's correct. That's still not a thing we're doing. Thanks for checking.
So I cannot wait. And I appreciate, I believe I received, the people had sent me, episodes to do. Let's see. 1 second. I got you. Where did it go? Yes. So Alexa, I believe it was you who in fact sent me these episodes. And we chose to do one of the ones that you submitted, which is class, which is next week.
Yay.
So thank you for that. Awesome. And Sarah says, good episode picks. Thanks, Sarah. So I think did I forget a segment? Is that what we do? We have no new reviews on iTunes, which is such a bummer because we got such a good one last week.
Yeah.
But if you're on iTunes, leave us a rating and review. 5 stars if you like us, 4 stars if you don't. Other stars still broken. If you don't like us, leave a comment on how we can improve. If you do like us, tell us why. We like compliments.
We're narcissists.
I say that a lot. And so I appreciate that you have lumped yourself in with me.
Yeah.
And for our friends in the shower, thanks.
Yes.
All right.
If you, no judgment, but you are very much back territory at this point.
We should have a bath segment. Anyway, not the point. Too distracted by what people are doing while they listen to our show. I will say, if you go back and comment on old episodes that we've done on YouTube, which people do, I read all the YouTube comments. And I read them all thoroughly. Somebody had a big old complaint about cam girling in Turn Me On, Take Me Private, which I love. So please feel free to, if you're rewatching an old one of ours, feel free to yell at us or comment or whatever.
Yeah.
We appreciate all your words. Until next week, Taylor, where are you on the internet and what are you up to these days?
I am online, still on Twitter at alpha_Ann. I will be there until I die, unfortunately, for all of us. I'm also on Instagram at Taylor_Gates_. Yeah, that's what I'm doing. I review some other things in writing on Collider and FANVERSATION. So, yeah, you can read that too if you'd like. My thoughts on stuff.
Amazing. I am everywhere. Nope. I'm on Instagram.
You are at one place, exactly, actually.
I left all the other places. Shit. All right. I'm on Instagram at Yael Tygiel. That is YAELTYGIEL. You can also find me on the Electric Now app for the official after show for Almost Paradise called Paradise Found. You can also find me on the official after show for Leverage Redemption, the first 2 seasons on Electric Now, and After the Arc on Sci-Fi and Electric Now, which is the after show for The Arc. That's everything. Oh, if you want fun merch, it's in the description below. If you didn't catch our graphic of what the next episodes are, that is also noted in the description below because I did it in advance and so I wrote it in. Thanks for joining us, everyone. We'll see you next week. Bye.
Bye.